Alright, so my name is Jamie, and my topic is on how school shootings have become an American epidemic within the American education system. This presentation is addressed to Rob Bishop. He's the U.S. Representative for Utah's 1st Congressional District. He's a former teacher, which made it seem like a good idea to address this to him because it's an issue that affects people in his sphere of influence and maybe him himself. He's also a member of the Republican Party, which more conservative people, I would say, tend to need a little bit more convincing in the issues like these. So my claim is that school shootings have become a problem within the American education system that needs to be addressed. I'm claiming that this issue is important for a few reasons, one of them being that in the last 10 years, since 2009, 303 school shootings have taken place in our nation, which means that last year alone, in 2018, we averaged almost one school shooting per week. Another reason why this has become such a problem is because the U.S. has had approximately 57 times as many school shootings as every other major industrialized nation combined. So that includes Canada, France, Germany, Japan, Italy, and the United Kingdom. The nation I wanted to point out specifically compared to the US was Mexico, because Mexico has dealt with 11 school shooting incidents in the time that America has surpassed 300 of them. These circumstances completely disrupt the peace of mind that students, teachers, and every other person working in a school or on a campus deserves. We tell students that school can be a safe place for them to go, but we can't exactly expect them to go about their school day feeling safe when their school could easily become the next target of a school shooting. So just a little bit of background on how this issue started to kind of surface and how it's become more of a concern for the American people. On February 14th, Valentine's Day of 2018, a 19-year-old young man named Nicholas Cruz opened fire with a semi-automatic rifle into his old high school, Marjory Stoneman Douglas High School in Parkland, Florida, which he had been previously expelled from. He took the lives of 14 students and 3 teachers within slightly over 6 minutes on that day. This tragic incident sparked the March for Our Lives movement, which is led by surviving students from Marjory Stoneman Douglas High School. The actual march took place a little over a month after the shooting took place on March 24th of last year. Every state in America held their own march on that day, and over 2 million American citizens participated in protests to their local lawmakers and in support of students literally standing up for their own lives. The main branch of the March for Our Lives took place in Washington, D.C. Emma Gonzalez, a student at Marjory Stoneman Douglas, gave a powerful speech at the Washington, D.C. march, still heartbroken just over a month after the shooting took place at her high school. A quote from that speech reads, "6 minutes and about 20 seconds. In a little over 6 minutes, 17 of our friends were taken from us. 15 more were injured, and everyone, absolutely everyone in the Douglas community was forever altered." In the months since this shooting happened, young people have protested, participated in school walkouts, called for action from lawmakers, and voted for their lives. Many feel that this issue can no longer be ignored, and young students across the country are more involved in politics than ever before, because their lives literally depend on it. Students in the U.S. now have more of an understanding of their rights and how to fight for them than most citizens ever will. They're becoming more educated on laws, rights, the Constitution and its amendments than ever before. What young people have also come to learn through this process is that not everyone will always be on their side. The biggest argument against looking for ways to prevent gun violence in schools seems to be constantly coming from people who are afraid that their right to bear arms will be violated as a result. Plenty of American citizens own guns as a form of personal protection in their homes or on their person. It is entirely valid to have this kind of concern when an issue such as this is gaining so much attention. If eventually the conclusion was that gun control would be the best option, these people would have reason to be worried. However, logistically and ideally with this kind of solution, guns would only be taken from those with bad intentions for using them, such as shooting up a school. Stricter background checks before purchasing guns would also be part of the solution in order to prevent perhaps people with mental disabilities or mentally unstable people from purchasing guns. I think this quote really speaks volumes regarding the people who are afraid of a change for the better only because they're afraid that their guns will be taken away or their Second Amendment rights will be violated as a result. This quote reads, "In a society that fetishizes self-reliance, the gun speaks to rugged individualism. Each person should be responsible for saving themselves. In a political culture that favors small government, the gun stands as a counterpoint to a lumbering and inefficient state. Defend yourself, because by the time the police get there, you'll be dead." Essentially, as long as you have no intention of doing any unnecessary harm with the gun that you own, you should be fine. To be clear, no one really wants to see our country's children die by gun violence, especially in their schools. The disagreement between those who are looking for change and those who are not comes up when looking at solutions to the issue. So I have definitely learned a lot from the research that I've been able to do throughout the semester on this topic. I picked it because it was something that I really care about, that I really cared about in the first place, that I wanted to learn more about, and that I wanted to defend. I definitely learned a lot about the issue and about the counter arguments as well, with the people who are afraid of their Second Amendment rights being violated, like I previously talked about. I can see that viewpoint more clearly now and why they're afraid, because some people use guns as their personal form of protection, and they think that without that, they don't know what they would rely on otherwise. So that has definitely been interesting to research and learn more about. I personally feel that this issue affects me and a lot of people my age, because young people my age in college and in high school and just in school in general have to live with this fear of being the next victim of gun violence in a school, because it happens so often and it's very unpredictable which school will be hit next with a tragic incident like this. And so it was a topic that I was very interested to learn more about and very excited to be able to do research on. So in conclusion, at the end of the day, I feel that schools should be a place where students can come to learn, not to fear for their own lives. It is a very basic, fundamental right that we should be able to promise to our students and our children in America, that they can come to school to learn and grow and not have to fight for their right to live through the school day. Being bullied by lawmakers and members of Congress and other adults is not what our students need anymore at this point in time. It would do our nation well to support these young people, listen to them, and recognize our mistake of letting this issue go on for so long, and continuing to do what we can to protect our students in school.